Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, Election Day. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update, and here's what's happening across our nation. Well, the vote is here. I hope you'll go out and cast a ballot. Be a patriot. Liberal cities brace for riots after the vote. Polls show more than three-quarters of Americans predict political violence. Europe bringing back the COVID shutdown. Angry protesters over there don't like that one bit. Also ahead, why we are a divided country. But first, more than 100 million Americans have already voted. That number expected to reach record highs today, with pundits predicting as many as 145 million ballots for the first time in U.S. history. President Trump will spend election night at the White House, Joe Biden in Wilmington, Delaware. Democrat-run cities across the nation preparing for Election Day violence. Police in New York City, Los Angeles, Portland, Washington, and Seattle bracing for anti-Trump riots should the president win re-election. Authorities now erecting wooden barricades across statues, monuments, and government buildings, plywood around stores. New survey from Yahoo News shows a whopping 77% of voters do expect some violence, regardless of who wins the White House. About half predict neither candidate will concede the election. A quarter believe the decision could drag on through January. Of course, that's all speculation. Most of it is mindless. The United Kingdom, the first European nation to bring back a total COVID shutdown. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson telling citizens the death rate could hit several thousand within weeks if no protective actions are taken. Christmas canceled in England this year. It will be illegal to visit other people's households, even family members. Demonstrators are protesting all across Europe. Rioters in Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, Austria, and Ireland clashing with police, demanding governments allow workers to return to their jobs. Cases of COVID now topping 100,000 across the continent every day. In a moment, Americans are a divided people. Why? Right back. Investors, are you seeking steady cash flow, ready to diversify? Have you considered a proven real estate investment fund? NRIA is one of the nation's leading realty specialists and offers 10% annualized monthly payouts, with bonuses targeted to 21%. That's right, you could receive steady 10% return monthly payments with bonuses. You know, they specialize in realty investing done right. Even use your 401k or IRA to invest. NRIA's 15-year track record and $1.2 billion in new construction development backs you. So learn how you can invest in this hard asset real estate cash flow fund today and receive 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses. This is something savvy investors should research and consider. Please call now, 201-210. 2727, 201-210-2727, or visit nria.net.
An offer to buy or sell any security is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. National is a real estate development firm. See us at nria.net.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this election day, a simple question from a simple man, that's me. Why are we so divided in America? First, some stats from Gallup. Right now, the survey says 29% of us are Republican, 31% Democrat, 38% registered independents. Of those independents, 42% lean Republican, 50% lean Democrat. So the left has a slight advantage, and that's really been unchanged for the past 20 years. The reason for the advantage is academia, that's college, high school. Most of the teachers embrace left-wing tenets. And the media, of course, as you know, is far left. So the combination of schooling and what you see and hear on television, radio, and the net are driving younger Americans liberal, and that has been going on since the Vietnam War. Now, this year, the biggest issues for Republicans are the economy and national security. For the Democrats, COVID, healthcare, and race relations. The problem in the USA is extremism, and that is exacerbated by a corrupt media. Radical leftists are now being encouraged by companies like the New York Times and NBC News. This is dangerous because it used to be if you were a looter, an arsonist, if you hurt people, attacked police, you were demonized. You were considered a terrible American. No longer in some cases. Also, if you are a socialist or a communist, you used to be in a lot of trouble. You were scorned. No longer. Socialism and communism is now acceptable by many in the left-wing precincts, including many on television and radio and in print. The problem is that socialism and communism go absolutely against everything we have in America. So you would have to tear down our entire traditional system in order to embrace those doctrines. On the other side, some conservatives look the other way as far-right people espouse violence against political opponents. That's wrong. Remember the Oklahoma City bombing. But it is the radical left that right now presents the most danger to America. And the national press largely ignores this story. All you have to do is look how Portland, Oregon, a beautiful city, has been destroyed. So on this election day, I and almost every commentator I know encourage you to vote responsibly. Educate yourself. Understand there is danger in the air. I spell that out in my new column posted on BillO'Reilly.com. I hope you read it. I am Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. Disagree? I want to hear from you. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, and please consider my new book, Killing Crazy Horse. In a moment, something you might not know. Well, I got a crash course in home title theft. I hope you pray this crime never happens to you. It can ruin you financially. Here's how easy it is. The legal titles to our homes are digitized and kept on government and business servers in the cloud. A cyber thief hacks these to find your home's title, forges your signature on a quitclaim deed stating you sold your home. Then loans are taken out against your home until all your equity is gone and you're in debt. You will not know until the collection calls start pouring in. Insurance, banks, common identity theft programs will not protect you. Home Title Lock protects you and puts a barrier around your home's title. The instant they detect tampering, they shut it down. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you are already a victim. Then use code RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com. Code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. It is Election Day. Pundits predicting a record-breaking 140 million Americans will cast ballots, either for Donald Trump or Joe Biden, as you know. While it may seem the 2020 race was one of the most intense in the nation's history, the USA has a long tradition of bizarre elections dating all the way back to the Founding Fathers. The first contest for president was one of a kind because there was no competition. Political parties didn't exist. George Washington ran unopposed. It is the only election in U.S. history where one person won 100% of the Electoral College. Next, 1824, John Quincy Adams versus Andrew Jackson. The only election where the winner didn't win the Electoral College or the popular vote. The decision was settled by the House of Representatives after neither candidate reached a majority. Things got even nastier 4 years later. After losing to Adams, Jackson didn't hold back, accusing John Quincy of procuring American girls for members of the Russian aristocracy. Ah, the Russians again. But Jackson prevailed in 4 years over Quincy Adams. In 1872, incumbent U.S. Grant had an easy run for a second term because his opponent died before the final votes were cast. On November 29th, before the Electoral College votes were tallied, Horace Greeley passed away. He remains the only presidential candidate to die before the election was finalized, and Grant won the job. Finally, 2000's Bush versus Gore and the infamous hanging Chaz. The legal battle would drag on for weeks, as you may remember. Mr. Gore led Mr. Bush by more than 500,000 popular votes, but Florida's delegates would ultimately go to W. It remains the only presidential election decided by the Supreme Court. So anything can happen today, but whatever occurs, all good Americans should remain calm. Let's respect our democracy. Back after this. As you may know, more than 44 million Americans have lost their jobs. The Fed just warned the recession may get worse, so I recommend you consider gold and silver. And the only company I recommend is American Hartford Gold Group. I trust them. I've done business with them. I recommend them. They sell physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside your IRA. And they make it easy. So please call them right now. And make sure you tell them that Bill sent you. And they will give you, ready? $1,500 of free silver on your first order. Since I've been recommending American Hartford Gold Group, gold is up more than 30%. So don't wait. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.